Hey everyone, Henrichs with Valor. In this video we're going to talk about what it means to be a slave versus what it means to be a citizen. Let's go ahead and get started. It's 2021 and I have not done a political video in a long time, but I wanted to make sure that I got one to start this year off because quite honestly the last month or so has been quite troubling with a lot of things going on. I think a lot of people in this country do not understand what a United States citizen is. We conflate what being a citizen is with luxury and comfort and being able to be cozy in our homes. That doesn't mean that you're free, and that doesn't mean that you're a citizen. Here's the difference. A slave does what its master tells it to do. A citizen tells government what it is going to do. And I think that the United States government and many state governments around this country have confused that. They have misunderstood the relationship between those that govern and those that are governed. There's no more obvious shenanigans at play here than what just happened with our election. And the problem here is that what people need to understand is that the alleged winners of this election, the Democrats, they are in my eyes, modern-day Tories. In fact, they're worse than modern-day Tories. At least the Tories during the Founding Fathers' time loved Britain. They loved their country. These people don't love the United States of America. They despise it. They despise everything that this country was founded on. And just to illustrate, during the American Revolution, what brought that revolution about was higher taxes and gun control. That is the entire platform of the Democrat Party right now and their minions. They need high taxes in order to fund the programs that they use to bribe their constituency to keep them in power. And that constituency seeks and desires to strip us of our rights, specifically our Second Amendment and our First Amendment rights. So in fact, in many ways, in a sick, twisted way, they want us to fund their taking control of the country and stripping our rights away from them. And what these payments are that they want to enact in these so-called stimulus or these relief bills, what they are is a big bribe in order to pay us off so that we don't revolt. Here's the problem. Freedom isn't purchased with bribes or fear. Our freedom was purchased with lead, copper, and courage. And that was done with our founding fathers. So when the crown wanted higher taxes, when they wanted to confiscate guns and strip away the natural rights of the colonists' right to keep and bear arms, our forefathers revolted and stood up against this. So we know the Democrat constituency is largely people who aren't affected by higher taxes because they don't pay them to begin with. They get all they do is take for the most part. And if they do want higher taxes, they're probably so wealthy that it won't matter to them. It's like a drop of the bucket. Take some scumbag like Bill Gates or the likes of him. It's one of those things. And of course, there are true believers. There are true libtard individuals out there that truly believe that America would be a better country if there were no firearms and no freedom of speech and you can't go outside and you can't open your bed. They love it when you pay property taxes, but you can't use your property as you see fit. And that is why they're insane individuals. And that's bad enough on the Democrat side of the aisle. For people that are typically a lot of times conservative or libertarian, whatever you want to call yourself, a lot of times these people, on the other hand, and I'm painting with a broad brush, but for a large part, they aren't willing to really do anything. They're not willing to do anything to stop this. Yeah, they'll call into talk radio and complain, or they'll talk amongst their friends and complain about it, but what are they really willing to do about it? Are they willing to get out of their house, get off the couch? Or are they more interested in who's playing college football this weekend, who's playing in the NBA, who's playing in the NFL, who's playing baseball, hockey, all that distractions. It's very similar to Roman times when people would go to the Colosseum and root for their favorite gladiator. Meanwhile, Rome is on the cusp of going bankrupt and being destroyed by the barbarians who do not appreciate it. So what we need to ask ourselves going forward in 2021 is, what needs to happen going forward? It's one thing to identify problems, it's another thing to actually remedy them. As time is a consideration at this point, first of all, the election does not need to be certified at all. The Electoral College cannot certify these elections results without a substantial investigation, without a substantial trial, without a substantial case of looking at the thousands and thousands and thousands of pieces of evidence and personal affidavits and video recordings of voter fraud taking place, specifically in the swing states that have allegedly had Joe Biden in the lead, which he did not win that. So it's funny because Joe Biden had 20+ million more votes than Ronald Reagan did when Ronald Reagan won 49 out of 50 states. Does anybody believe that? If you do, I've got beachfront property in Arizona for you. So first and foremost, we need to demand that these election rules do not get certified. They need to be delayed, investigated, and then we can move forward from there. So Joe Biden is not the President of the United States, guys. I don't care what the news says. I don't care what your little ticker says on YouTube. I don't care what anybody says. The man is not the legitimate President of the United States. He's not even President-elect because the Electoral College hasn't even met yet. Second thing that you need to do as a firearms owner or someone who loves American liberty is you need to form militias in your community. I've been talking about this for years. In fact, we have one here in our community of very good business owners, people who are very pro-liberty, people that own businesses in this community that love the Second Amendment, love the First Amendment, love the United States of America. This area will remain free. Guys, we can't be everywhere at once, okay? If you're looking for someone to come in from outside of your community and be your messiah, to be your white knight, to be someone that comes and say that you've got to stop that. You've got to take charge of your own area of influence. You've got to take responsibility for your peers, for your friends, for your family, and those in your immediate circle. Do we need to form big militias, 100, 200? If you want to, go ahead. It's unnecessary. You need to get with a couple of guys, 3, 4, 5, 6 people in your own circle. You need to go out there and train and get proficient. You need to learn how to become a good gun handler above all else. And you need to be able to learn how to hit what you're shooting at. You need to get your fitness game up. Guys, I see a lot of students come here. Some of them are in good shape, some of them not so much. I know people have injuries, medical conditions. I get that. But you've got to be as fit as possible. The more fit you are, the better life is in general. And I understand there's people out there with limitations. Believe me, I know how it is to be injured. I've got family members that have had injuries. I've got friends that have been injured. They've had to fight through that, and they've had to do the best that they can. But guys, make fitness a priority for 2021. Get in good shape and make firearms proficiency a priority as well. Third thing that needs to happen for 2021 is police and the military, you need to re-examine yourself. And I know there's a lot of good law enforcement out there. There's also good people in the military, but what I'm going to tell you is this. Without you being the teeth of regulation and legislation and government dictatorial fiat, without you guys and gals out there, without you going out and enforcing that, they're nothing. They are absolute paper tigers. They need enforcers to go out and do this. So you folks in blue and green uniforms out there, you need to look in the mirror and you need to ask yourself, are you upholding your oath, which is to support and defend the Constitution of the United States? And that means all the tenets in the Bill of Rights and limited government. And that means that anything that strips people of their Second Amendment, nope, no go. That means First Amendment stripping, nope, no go. That means property rights, when people say you can't do that on your property, no, you cannot enforce it. You've got to stand in the gap of freedom. You've got to stand in that gap in the wall and be that bulwark. Because I'm here to tell you guys, if you violate people's rights for a money or a pension, you are wrong. You do not have my support if you do that. Now, constitutional law enforcement, that's a different story. I know a lot of guys that have refused illegal laws, unconstitutional laws, immoral laws. I know a lot of guys that have done that, and you have my respect. But here's the thing, guys. If you're in a federal agency or you're in local law enforcement, you need to stop being the lapdogs of your little tin-pot dictators, and you need to tell them no. And you need to state the Constitution, and you need to state your oath of office. And until you value freedom more than you value your paycheck or your pension, guys, this country will continue to decline into leftism. It will continue to decline into the opposite of what it was supposed to be. So folks, that's my first video for 2021, and I'm going to tell you this right now. If you want to show people what this nation is about, because I'm here to tell you, 2020 revealed a lot of moral failings in this country, a lot of character flaws, weak-minded people believing outright propaganda, weak-minded people living in fear rather than living in courage, weak-minded people believing all the BS without thinking critically, without going out there and doing their own research, without going there and actually thinking about these issues very deeply. A lot of people just bought the narrative and cowered in fear. That's not what this nation was founded on. This nation was founded in courage. This nation was founded in principles. This nation was founded on individual liberty. This nation was founded on an armed citizenry. This nation was founded on religious principles. This nation was founded on all of the things that are required for a free society. Economic freedom, personal freedom, religious freedom. Everything that our founders held dear, we have to maintain. And we have to have the courage to maintain that. And I think you have to ask yourself some hard questions. What are you willing to do about it in 2021? What are you willing to do to make sure that this way of life continues? What are you willing to do to make sure that your children, your grandchildren are more free than you? Because we are the watershed generation of this country. Because it will either go into tyranny or it will go into freedom. We are either going to restore the freedom of this country or we will watch it die a painful, accelerated death. The choice is ours. If you found the information in the video helpful, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Facebook. That link is down below. And if you want to learn how to become proficient with your firearms, proficient in small unit tactics, proficient in how to defend your home, your family, your life, and your country, come on out to Valor Ridge and we can help you do that. This is Reid Henrichs with Valor Ridge reminding you the lessons that we learn are written on the tombstones of others. We'll see you on the ridge.